Leprosy in Jesus' time was a deadly disease, my dear friends. It's not simply a skin disease. And the repercussions were very terrible. Normally, the bacteria called Mycobacterium leprae will stay in the cold areas of your body and then causes a numbness. It deactivates the nerves and you don't feel what's happening in you. The parts of the body will melt away, fall apart, yet the person won't feel the pain. My dear friends, it's terrible. So, in the first reading book of Leviticus, there are norms and rules as to what the priest should do with the people who had leprosy. And they were chased away, cornered, pushed aside. They can't come to the society. The word said, as long as the disease was there, a person infected with leprosy must wear torn clothing and leave his hair uncombed. He must cover his upper lip and cry, unclean, unclean. As long as the disease lasts, he must be unclean, and therefore he must live away from others. He must live outside the camp, away from home and family. So today, think about your own leprosy, spiritual leprosy. You become so cold. You become so insensitive. What is opposite of love? Opposite of love is not hatred. Rather, it's indifference. You turn a blind eye. You just mind your own business. No, you don't care at all. And it's spiritual leprosy. So you don't feel him. You don't love your neighbor. And you act like machines. Lives become so machinery, mechanical. That's spiritual leprosy. My dear friends, you will never enjoy anything in life if you suffer with this spiritually. And here comes this person, and he came and knelt before Jesus. What made that? What leprosy made that man? What happened in his life with leprosy? My dear friends, he was broken. Whole society despised him, cornered him, and his heart was broken. He had to do away with his pride. That's where he became aware of Jesus' love. And he kneels before Jesus. Because in Psalm 51 he says, the best offering is a broken heart. In Psalm 38 verse 16 onwards, he said, he will never despise a broken heart. He will love it, accept it. That's how his brokenness made him come closer to Jesus. And he kneels before him. And also see the prayer that this man is praying. It's one of the beautiful, profound, deep prayers in the Bible. He says, if you want, you can make me clean. There are three factors that we have to concentrate today. If you want, you can make me clean. So he believes. He believes that only God can make him clean. Because in 2 Kings chapter 5 verse 7, when Naaman was sick, the king of Assyria sent a letter to king of Judea. And then king misunderstood it and tore his garments and said, who am I? Am I the Lord? Am I God to cure this disease? So it denotes that only God can heal this. So this person, this leper, clearly understands this, that Jesus can do this definitely. So in your calamity, in your crisis, in your problem, do you really believe that our God is bigger than your Goliath? Do you truly believe that He is powerful? Or He's just a God, just a concept? This is exactly the prayer where Jesus said in Gethsemane, in Mark chapter 14. He cried loudly, Abba Father, everything is possible for you. There is this cross, there is this trauma, there is this agony. Everything is possible for you. You can just stop this like anything. And then He says, if you want, you can make it clean. That's all what I want. The truth of your life. You don't have to hide it. Just go to Him and tell your truth. Tell all what you want. And then He says, if you want, you can make me clean. Jesus said, thy will be done, not mine. So this is the prayer. The relationship this man had with Jesus is amazing. He says in a way, like Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego in Daniel chapter 3, chapter 4. Before Nebuchadnezzar, they said, when King Nebuchadnezzar challenged them, whether we'll see, your God can save you from this fire. Then they said, if there is God, if there is any God who can save us from this fire, it's our God, Yahweh. Even He does not save us from this fire, we will never worship idol gods. Amazing, beautiful. I mean, the answer is not bigger than Jesus. Whether you heal or not, it does not matter. You're my Adonai, you're my Lord. So, he is of course spiritually, physically, he's suffering from leprosy, but then spiritually, he's well properly connected. He's kind of an example for you and for me. Jesus. Word says, move with compassion, touched him and said, yes, I do. Clean. Make yourself clean. It's amazing. The word move with deep compassion. The Hebrew words used there is huge. It's very rich. Even one can say it's a weak point to be a person, to be that sympathetic, moved by that kind of sympathy. God should never move by like that. It's a sign of weakness for them. But then for our God, He's always moved by compassion. And He touched the wounds of that leper. He could have just with words, orally, healed him. Definitely. But then, He touched him. It's a sign of love. My dear friends. So it's the way He loves you. The way He loves you. St. Paul was a Pharisee. And he suffered with spiritual leprosy. Never felt Jesus. Never knew about Him. And he thought what he was doing was right. And he started persecuting Christians. And then Jesus made him fall. Broke him. And touched him. Touched him. And in that touch, he was healed of that spiritual leprosy. He began to see God. He began to hear Him. He began to love his neighbor. And today, second reading beautifully says, then whatever you eat, whether you eat or drink, or whether you do it, whatever you do it for the glory of God. Then He says, just as I try to please everyone in everything, I do not seek my own interest, but that of many. This is that they be saved. Follow my example as I follow the example of Christ. So he was healed with that leprosy, from that leprosy, spiritually. And then he says, follow my example. He said so. And he was completely, Jesus touched him, and he began to touch people with a lot of compassion. And that's our duty also. If you are blindfolded, If you are not sensitive, if you are not open, if you can't love, let him touch you. And then in the way that he touched you, try to touch each other with that deep compassion. My dear friends, Jesus had to move away, go to the rural areas. And this person, one who said, unclean, unclean, started saying the glory of God, praising God. This is exactly what happened. Jesus became a leper with his wounds, and he has healed you and me. So that with that healing, you have a duty to be compassionate as the Lord has compassionate to you. Think about it. Have a nice day, and God bless you.